How is it you are in residence tonight, Hewell? We've heard nothing of you these last few weeks. I came seeking respite from a bitter campaign. Hewell's scowl turned somber. My father passed on to the next life, some weeks ago, and ever since I have been forced to defend his borders, my borders, from that thieving marauder Anaraud of Gwynedd. Alwen raised one eyebrow in a show of reproach. I believe that thieving marauder is the rightful king of Gwynedd, and your uncle, if memory serves me. There has never been love between the house of Aberfraw and the house of Dynevor, Hewell explained. Aberfraw was the castle court of Gwynedd, and Dynevor the ruling seat of Sesothrug. When my grandfather divided his lands, he also divided his sons. My father's death has given my uncle cause to rejoice, and an excuse to extend his reach. I have had no peace at all this past fortnight. Emrys, interim captain of the castle guard, bowled into the room flanked by the headman of Hewell's personal guard. My apologies, Your Grace. I've only just heard that you had arrived and about the threat on your life. Hewell barely acknowledged Emrys. And just how long do you suppose I would live if I announced my every step? If I had been alerted once you were on the grounds? Emrys struggled to maintain the proper deference. We might have taken other precautions. Glain felt a twinge of empathy for Emrys. He was the most capable ranking officer in the Cad North, aside from Aslak, and the appropriate man to serve as captain in Aslak's absence. However, Emrys lacked the confidence that might have come with winning the post on his own merits, and it showed. Hewell spoke without taking his eyes from Alwen. A soldier of merit is always properly prepared, most certainly in times of war. Surely the security of this compound is not dependent upon whether or not I am expected, or any other guest of your palace for that matter. He turned to glare now at Emrys. As it stands, Captain, your defences have been breached. How do you account for that? If evil crossed our walls, we will know soon enough. I've sent Rhys to scout the grounds. Emrys had recovered his command, personally and professionally. The Cad North was an unequalled regiment and worthy of his pride, though the castle guard had suffered great losses in the battle for the Fane. He will report to us here. So we wait. Alwen had a look of deep thought. In the meantime, let me hear from each of you your own account. Perhaps we may glean something useful from the details. Were you awakened in your rooms, Hewell, or did the wraiths assault you in the hall? Hewell crossed the room to the hearth and back again. He paced as if he didn't know what else to do with himself, as if the frustration he must be feeling would explode inside him. It made Glain nervous, and she braced herself against the shame he was surely about to place at Ariane's feet. There was no saving her friend now. It came upon me in my rooms, as if it passed through the closed door and without a sound. By the time I sensed any presence at all, I was already in its grasp. I've never faced a thing that holds form but has no substance. How does a man fight a foe he cannot strike? Glain felt gratitude for Hewell's discretion, though she could not imagine what advantage keeping Ariane a secret would give him. Hewell was not known for his selflessness. There were two, Inir spoke up. Glain went to the king's defence, while I tried to free Ariane. Glain glared at her brother acolyte. If Hewell could be discreet, why couldn't Inir? It was Nerys who saved us all, really. Had she not come when she did? Well, I'd rather not imagine. Inir made no attempt to hide his disdain. Ariane was apparently overcome by the shock of the attack, though I am at a loss to explain how she came to be there in the first place. Glain half expected the king to say that Ariane had been there at his invitation, but it seemed Hewell's gallantry did not extend that far. Not that Ariane's was a singular indiscretion. It could have been one of a dozen other women of the stewardry in Hewell's bed on any given night. The three of you are accountable to Glain. It falls to her to address an acolyte's conduct when need be. Alwen frowned, but offered no further comment on Inir's concerns. Something alerted you two to the threat? I dreamt of danger, Glain recalled, but there was something else, something that caused me to wake. Inir, did you not say you heard a noise? I can't honestly